episode. The same situation, but our feelings can change when we begin to understand our automatic thoughts. One of the most influential things in our lives is the way our mind interprets what happens to us. Many times, the exact same situation can feel very different. On some days, we handle it with ease, but on other days, the same situation can feel heavy, exhausting, almost as if the whole world is pressing down on us. What changed may not be the outside world. Sometimes, what changed is the thought that appeared automatically in our mind. In cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, a form of psychotherapy that focuses on reshaping negative thinking, distorted beliefs, and unhelpful behavior, it suggests that our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are deeply connected. And when we begin to adjust one part of this cycle, our mental well-being can gradually improve. CBT explains that between an event and the feeling that follows, there is almost always a thought that appears first, even if we don't notice it. These are called automatic thoughts. They happen very quickly, so quickly that we often believe them immediately, without realizing that what we are seeing is not the whole truth, but simply our mind's interpretation. What makes CBT so interesting is that it doesn't teach us to force ourselves to think positively. Instead, it helps us see our thinking process more clearly. And when we begin to notice our thoughts, the heaviness in our mind often starts to soften naturally. In CBT, there is also a concept called cognitive distortions. These are patterns of thinking that are unrealistic or unsupported by evidence. Most of the time, they lean toward the negative and can create stress or anxiety without us realizing it. Let's look at a few simple examples. As you listen, you might gently notice whether your mind has experienced something similar. Situation 1. You send a message to someone, and they haven't replied yet. A quiet thought might appear. Maybe they don't want to talk to me. This is called mind reading. Our mind tries to guess what the other person is thinking, even though we don't actually have enough information. In reality, they might be in a meeting, driving, or simply tired. Situation 2. Your boss speaks to you more briefly than usual. Your mind might say, "I must have done something wrong." This is when the mind pulls everything back to ourselves. But in reality, every person carries their own story, their own worries, their own busy moments. Sometimes, someone else's expression has nothing to do with us at all. Situation 3. You make a mistake at work just once, and a voice inside says, "I'm not good at this." This is when one single event is used to judge our entire self-worth. But the truth is, human beings always learn through mistakes, and our abilities are never defined by just one moment. Situation 4. You feel nervous or unsure. When speaking in front of others, your mind might conclude, "I'm not good at this." This is called emotional reasoning, when we treat our feelings as proof of reality. But nervousness is actually a normal response of the brain when we are doing something meaningful or important. Situation 5. You accomplished many things during the day, but made one small mistake. And before going to bed, the only thing your mind remembers is that one mistake. This is when the brain focuses only on the negative, not because life is terrible, but because the human brain is designed to notice danger more easily than happiness. So, does that mean we should only think positively? Not really. CBT doesn't ask us to think positively all the time, and it doesn't encourage negative thinking either. Instead, it gently guides us toward balanced thinking, not rushing to the worst conclusion, not forcing ourselves to see only the good, but simply acknowledging that what we are seeing right now might be only part of the picture. Balanced thinking means recognizing that reality often has many angles, more than what we first notice. So, how can we begin to notice our automatic thoughts? Here is a simple way to practice. Step 1. Start with the feeling. Instead of starting with the event, start with the moment when your emotion shifts. At some point during the day, ask yourself, was there a moment when my heart felt just a little heavier? It doesn't have to be a big moment. It might simply be a moment of worry or a moment when you felt slightly disappointed in yourself. That's enough. Step 2. Replay the scene gently. You don't need to tell the whole story. Just ask yourself, where was I? What was happening? Describe it like a camera recording a short scene. No analysis is needed. For example, I was looking at my phone and saw a message. That's enough. Step 3. Listen to the first thought. Was there a sentence that flashed through your mind? It doesn't need to sound polite. It doesn't need to be correct. Automatic thoughts are often very short. For example, I'm not good enough. They probably don't like me. I messed up again. Try to write it or say it as honestly as possible, because this step is the heart of the practice. Step 4. Notice what the thought did. After that thought appeared, what happened in your body or emotions? Did your chest feel tight? Did you want to avoid the situation? Did your energy suddenly drop? This helps us see clearly that thoughts can truly influence how we feel. Step 5. Gently add another possible view. You don't need to force positive thinking. You don't need to comfort yourself. Simply ask, is there another possible explanation? For example, instead of, they didn't reply because they don't like me, it could become, I don't know the real reason yet. There could be many possibilities. That's enough. And the important thing is, we are not deleting the original thought. We are simply making the space of reality a little wider. Before you go to sleep tonight, there's just one small thing to try. You don't need to observe yourself all day. You don't need to analyze your entire life. Just choose one small moment when your mind felt slightly unsettled, and gently listen to the thought that appeared inside. In CBT, change does not happen because we suddenly think perfectly. It happens when we slowly begin to notice our thoughts little by little. And sometimes, we don't need to understand everything today. Understanding ourselves just a little more tonight is already enough.